Lovely to be here, and I would like to thank the organisers and also Strategic Airlines for flying me up here. My son said I could have gone up with my broom. wasn't working all that well. I was told there isn't any camel rides in Derby, but this might inspire someone to start up a camel riding outfit. And the first poem is called When Grandpa Rode the Camel. While in an outback tourist town with Grandma by his side, Grandpa thought he'd really like to take a camel ride. Now, Grandma wasn't what you'd call the bravest one around, said she. I wouldn't wish to get quite so far off the ground. The camel man controlled the beast and bade it kneel down. Grandpa climbed into the seat, then set off through the town. The camel strode off down the street, and Grandpa rode in style. Everything was going well, at least just for a while. But when they reached the local pub, halfway through the ride, the camel man abandoned all and disappeared inside. Without a captain at the helm, or yet a man beside it, and like a ship without a crew, or yet a star to guide it, the camel took off like a shot down some old disused track and out into the wilderness with Grandpa on his back. It wandered round all afternoon in country yet uncharted, until at last it finished up right back where it had started. Grandpa cried in deep despair, I'm feeling like a clown. It wasn't hard to get up here, but now I can't get down. Grandma looked at him and said, oh, how can this be true? But give me just a little time, I'll see what I can do. And Grandma rang the fire brigade and said, please tell me how you get down off a camel's back. I have to know right now. The man in charge spoke on the phone and said, you're out of luck. You don't get down off a camel's back, you get down off a duck. Thank you. Flying Doctor is a big thing. Well, even in Albany, the last time I came up on the plane, the Flying Doctor was there to take someone to Perth, and this is a little poem concerning the Flying Doctor and what you don't want to do. 100 miles from town. Last week I had a visitor whose car had broken down. I think I've got 2 broken legs, he whimpered with a yelp, and I feel like I am dying if I do not get some help. So I rang the Flying Doctor, my head was in a spin, and against my better judgment I went and let him in. I gave him a beetroot sandwich and a nice hot cup of tea, and I said, you might be dying, but you don't look sick to me. Said he, I am a salesman, and rather felt quite sure you'd enjoy my small deception to get inside your door. I'd just like to sell you something and have a little chat, and my legs aren't really broken, so I said, I'll soon fix that. But the Flying Doctor people may not take it as a joke, picking up some useless patient whose legs were never broke. But I bear him no ill will, and I like to think I'm fair, and I'm almost pleased to hear he's not in intensive care. Thank you. The races. And it's called Grandpa and the Bobtail Lizard. Grandpa had come to the city to go to the races and all, dressed on this special occasion in his suit from St. Vincent de Paul. But when he arrived at the racetrack, curled up on the edge of the lawn, was a baby bobtail lizard, looking alone and forlorn. Now, Grandpa was quite fond of bobtails and thought it a shame and a pity such a creature should have to survive in the heart of a hostile city. He bent down and picked up the bobtail to keep it from imminent harm and put it inside his coat pocket to release it back on the farm. It seemed quite content in his pocket and wasn't the slightest upset as Grandpa went down to the bookies to place the inevitable bet. And there was this horse called Bobtail, the best omen under the sun. He chanced all his hard-earned money and it came in at 50 to 1. Grandpa collected his winnings, then buying a big fat cigar, with the air of a well-to-do squire, he went for a drink at the bar. And this beautiful blonde sat beside him, employing a common technique. She told him he looked so distinguished, admiring his manly physique. Though Grandpa had lived many years, he still was a little naive as the beautiful lady moved closer, laying her hand on his sleeve. Like a panther she toyed with her victim, seductive siren supreme. Then her fingers slid into his pocket and she let out a piercing scream. She had touched the bobtail lizard and all her composure was gone, while Grandpa was clever enough to perceive what was carrying on. He leapt up from where he'd been sitting, dropping his big fat cigar, and without even trying to retrieve it, he bolted away from the bar. He was off and out of that racetrack, anxious to get well away, pausing only to check on the bobtail, making certain that he was okay. Grandpa is back on the farm now, where beautiful blondes do not steal, and life in the glittering city somehow has lost its appeal. But out on the old back veranda, if perchance you are wandering by, you may notice a bobtail lizard dining on blackberry pie. And Grandpa will say, if you mention that it all seems a little bizarre, if he thought the bobtail would like it, he'd allow him to eat caviar. Some heroes are saved by magicians or the deeds of a fabulous wizard, but only a one such as Grandpa could be saved by a bobtail lizard. Thank you very much.